Dr. Ray McClanahan here today. I want to touch briefly on a footwear selection that we're big fans of at Northwest Foot and Ankle. I want to talk to you today about Lems footwear. This particular footwear is a huge benefit to the rehabilitative work we do at Northwest Foot and Ankle. And briefly want to touch on the design features built into the shoe that are going to be beneficial for those of you seeking natural foot health. But before I do that, I want to make sure that everybody understands I'm not a paid consultant for Lems. I just happen to be a fan of their footwear. The reason why I like their footwear so much was in 1999 I read the work of Dr. William Rossi. He wrote an article called Why Shoes Make Normal Gait Impossible, and for any of you looking at this video that want to look at that article, it's on our website, nwfootankle.com. Dr. Rossi was quite an interesting podiatrist in that he practiced podiatry, he fitted shoes as an adolescent in his parents' shoe store, and he also consulted to various footwear industry companies. And during his time as a podiatrist, he was very careful to write that his desire for a natural shoe would be a shoe that did not have heel elevation, a shoe that did not have toe spring, which is the going up of the front of the shoe, and a shoe that was naturally shaped like a normal human foot should be, which is widest at the ends of the toes and not widest at the ball. In spite of Dr. Rossi desiring this type of a footwear, none of the shoe companies would make that shoe. In fact, all of them were quite convinced that the shoe needed to have arch support and needed to have elevated heels and needed to have rigid heel counters and stiff, stable soles. So this is why I'm so excited about Lems. Dr. Rossi is my mentor. Unfortunately, he passed away about a decade ago, but Lems has delivered on that shoe that Dr. Rossi was asking about for all those years. It's a completely flat shoe. This term that we're using today in the industry is zero drop, meaning that there's no differential between the height of the heel and the front of the shoe. As I mentioned, it does not artificially hold your toes above the support surface, and it is a natural forefoot shape. All of these characteristics are important if you want to have your foot functioning the way nature intended, specifically supporting your own arch. And the way to do that is by getting your toes spread out like nature intended. And if you look at most of the footwear selections available that claim to have arch support or claim to have anti-pronation features, they are all widest at the ball and get dramatically narrower from the ball out towards the ends of the toes. Now the problem with that is part of your natural arch support is in the front of your foot, and the only way that you can naturally support your arch is to have your heel level with all of your toe bones all spread out and flat on the support surface. Lems has created such a shoe, so I'm thrilled today to give a shout out to Lems and their company for the great job that they're doing aiding us in our rehabilitative efforts towards natural foot health.
And would you talk for a moment about the toe spacers that you invented and why Lems are such an integral part of the treatment process?
Definitely. So at our clinic, Northwest Foot and Ankle, we like to use this product called Correct Toes, and basically what the product does is it reapproximates your toes into natural alignment. And although this is a desirable characteristic for most adult Americans, especially athletic adult Americans, the problem with most footwear on the market is that you cannot wear this product in there because, as we mentioned a moment ago, the shape of the toe box of the shoe is not congruent with the natural shape of a human foot. Not so with Lems. That's why we're so pleased to recommend Lems. Inside of your Lems, you can wear Correct Toes to get your foot naturally positioned the way it's intended. And for our clinic and the way we do things, that's of utmost importance, so well done, Lems. Thanks so much for this great shoe.